Welcome back, everybody. Of course, the weather is a big topic of conversation here today. We have a wintry mix coming our way here shortly, and it's going to kind of carry out throughout the weekend. So here to kind of keep us safe and keep us aware of some of the things, we have Sergeant Alex Dinkla with the Iowa State Patrol. Welcome. You're going to be a busy guy. I have a feeling here for the next several hours.
Yeah, if it takes place like it did last Friday, we were very busy all over the state, and I'm sure here the next few days we're going to be busy as well.
Well, we mentioned first thing this morning, there's many of you that maybe don't have class today that's been canceled. Activities are probably starting to be delayed or canceled tonight and throughout the weekend. Make sure you stay tuned for more details on that. But there's some out there that don't get to call in sick or say, hey, I'm going to work from home.
Right.
There's some great men and women that have to be out there that are making sure you are staying safe. So let's talk about what the Iowa State Patrol is going to be doing in the next 48 hours and what we can do to assist in that.
Yeah, we've already contacted our district lieutenants and told them, staffing, hey, we need to be out there for motorists. And so should we need to, we're going to be out there to help people, and we're going to have some extra staffing if we need.
If someone needs assistance. Okay, so what can we do to make sure you're not having to work any harder than you might need to?
The message we're really portraying with this storm is it's taken shape to be kind of nasty. Not only the snow, but the blowing snow. So visibility is going to create a huge problem for this storm. And we're really stressing to motorists, if you don't have to drive, stay at home. That's the best thing to do. Stay at home. You're going to be safe there. You're not going to be a distraction on the road, and you're going to be in the safety of your comfort of your own home.
Absolutely.
What is kind of the number one thing that you see in kind of weather incidents like this that tends to cause problems?
A lot of it is, drivers will drive too fast for the conditions that are out there. And when they're driving too fast, and if they need to brake, they slam on the brake a little too hard, and that just locks the brake up, and then you end up sliding into the ditch and maybe having a crash or just being stranded yourself. And the safety is at the utmost for people's safety here, and just wait it out. Most of the time you can wait a few hours to go somewhere, or wait just an extra day should you have to go somewhere. Hunker down, enjoy a good movie at home, and just stay safe.
Yeah. I think a lot of us, SUVs and so forth, make us feel like we're a little more durable out there.
Absolutely. We see a lot of that. Four-wheel drives think that just because they have it in four-wheel drive that they can drive and they're safe. Kind of the way we look at it at times is you just have two extra tires that are going to spin and get you a little bit more stuck than the other person. So just because you have that four-wheel drive doesn't mean you need to drive faster. You might have four tires spinning, but just ultimately the thing that's going to keep you safe is if you have to drive, slow down, increase that following distance, and just take your time getting to your destination.
And I feel like in the last couple of years, really, when we've had winter weather move in like it's going to, as Taylor Knust is telling us this weekend, it's not just a little crash here, a little crash there. We're talking multiple vehicles being involved just because one person might be spinning out.
Yeah, with this storm here, the forecast that I'm being told is the visibility and the wind, a lot of blowing snow. And we've seen here the last several years when we get those big blowing snowstorms that go across Iowa, we have those chain reaction crashes. And your best bet is to try to increase that following distance, because if a crash happens ahead of you, you're not going to be involved in that crash as well. Increase that following distance and be prepared to come to a stop should you have to.
Absolutely, and it doesn't hurt if you do need to travel to make sure your car is packed with some essentials in case you have to wait it out for some assistance, because there's going to be some tow bans in place for a while and things like that. Not only are you guys incredible about working in conditions like this and making sure we're staying safe, you're having some issues out there of people not slowing down and coming in pretty close perimeter of what your vehicles are doing.
Yeah.
So let's talk about that. And we have some amazing, I don't know if they're amazing, they're kind of horrific images that you've sent in and we found on your Facebook and beyond. What has been happening in these scenarios?
Yeah, the current vehicle here, that's a Polk County Sheriff's Office deputy's vehicle. We had a crash on 8035, and we had officers that were responding to a crash scene that was already there. And unfortunately, this sheriff's vehicle was hit and struck by a FedEx semi.
Jeez.
So we're still trying to find that FedEx semi. Not sure where he took off to, but he
didn't even stop.
No, he left the scene of this crash. Thankfully, that deputy is safe.
Yeah.
He saw the crash about to happen. He actually took off running, and was safe. But the word I got from the officers on scene there, it was a miracle that nobody was hit or killed in that crash.
For those of us who,
Wow.
you do have to get out and about, do you recommend, do we take those main arteries? Do we, I'm more, the back roads because it's just less congested and I can take my time and so forth, but what's kind of your thoughts on that?
Yeah, it's kind of going to vary all over Iowa. Most of the main arteries, that's where the plows are going to be. Should you be in maybe the city environment, you know, it might take a little bit before those plows are able to get to your location. But the thing to always remember is if you really don't have to travel, just wait it out a little bit. So if you're in the city, it might take a little bit longer for that plow to get by you on the road, but ultimately just kind of wait it out and let those roadways and then those maintenance personnel do their job and get the roadways clean, because even though you're out there driving, you're impacting traffic, you're just one more vehicle and an obstacle in the way that they have to avoid as well.
Absolutely. We're kind of saying the same thing over and over again. Hopefully that you're picking up what we're throwing
Don't
down
drive
here.
if you don't have to.
I think we have a few
Till it's
more
over.
pictures we can show you. Unfortunately, that's not the only scenario when it comes to close calls with our patrol officers.
Yeah, over the last Friday, and the current image here is from our ice storm that we had Wednesday. That's an Eastern Iowa trooper that was on the scene working a 5-vehicle crash, and he was ultimately struck by that semi there.
Ooh.
Jeez, way too close. Way too close of a call there, especially a lot of semis, as you said, a FedEx truck. These are things that can really cause some damage. What are we looking at here?
Yeah, the current image on the screen there is a trooper down in southwest Iowa. Just as the snowstorm was impacting Iowa last Friday, a driver lost control and struck this trooper as he was working an accident scene where a vehicle had lost control on an ice-covered bridge. This trooper did have some minor injuries. He went to the hospital, got checked out, and then was home and resting later that night. But, you know, our message is with all these emergency personnel, maintenance personnel, they're out there responding to these other times of crisis that somebody maybe went in the ditch or crashed. You know, give all of those personnel a little extra room. So if you have to move over, slow down, you see those emergency lights, give those people room. Give them people to do their job, work. Because I can tell you from being on the side of the road, we don't want to be there any more than you don't want us to be there.
Right.
So we're just trying to do our job, be there quick, get what we need, and get out of there. Because we know that the longer the time that we spend there, it's a dangerous environment.
Absolutely. Okay, so
slow down too, because if you do, because you come up on those, and if you're going too fast, that's when problems happen. So go slow.
Let's do a review. If you have to be on the roadways, slow down, increase your distance with the vehicles that are around you, but most importantly, if you don't have to be on the roadways, we highly encourage you not to.
Wait it out.
This weekend with some winter weather heading our way, and we'll hear more from Taylor Knust coming up. Sergeant, thank you so much for everything that you and your patrol are doing for us.
Stay safe out there.
Thanks for having me.
All right, there's some great advice. We hope you take it this morning. All right, we also want to talk about, speaking of which,
staying home, but yeah, there's some great things that are happening around town.
If you can safely get there.
Maybe they're in walking distance.
Yes, there you go. More details on that when we return to Iowa Live. We'll be right back.